Perfect. All right, now we could do share screen.
Okay, I mean,
Wrong one. This one. All right, can you see my screen?
yes.
All right. All right, take a lot of notes on this. You're going to get confused, but once you do this over and over and over again, you're going to get used to it. All right. These are the important categories when you go into the MLS. You got search, you got clients, you got listings, you got financial. These two you really don't have to worry about. So it's mainly these five. Okay. The most popular one, or the frequent one that you're going to be seeing is search, because search has a ton of categories. All right.
Yeah.
We're going to break these down column by column.
Okay.
All right. First, I'm going to explain everyone, and then we're going to go into them.
Okay.
All right. Residential sale. This is when you are starting a prospect account for a client, when you're looking for a bunch of properties in the area, and you're doing comparables and stuff like that. Residential lease is strictly for searching for rentals. Multifamily is anything a duplex or over. So duplex, triplex, quads, that's your place.
Okay.
If you're looking for raw land, if you're looking for farms, if you're looking for commercial building sales, if you're looking for commercial lease rentals, or if you're just buying the business. Like, say I want to buy the pizzeria shop, but I don't want his building. I just want his pizzeria business. And then to top it all off, you can do multi-property types, which means is that at the same time I want to search for a residential property, I want to search for a duplex, also searching for a commercial property. We very rarely use this one. The only ones on this column that you're probably going to use over and over again is the residential sale, maybe the duplex, and maybe some commercial. Everything else, no. This column here, we usually don't use at all. This is to create your own search patterns and stuff like that. You're never going to use them.
Yeah.
So unless Art goes in here and he decides that, hey, this benefits me, then he's going to go in. Then I'll teach you. I'm going to be honest with you, I haven't been in here in a while. Yeah. It's all different searches. Okay. So the third column, this is for public records. So this is common when Art is looking to list a property. I can find anyone's name, if given an address, or I can find anyone's address given a name. I can also look it up by tax ID number. I can also do a public search and get a list of names and a list of phone numbers. This is good for mailings. On your end, you're going to use this tool when he has a listing or a sale in that area and he wants to promote it to that area and he wants to send out postcards or flyers. The public records is the area you want to go to. Save search this is where all your prospect accounts. Now there's two types of prospect accounts you're going to create. One's going to be a direct mail and one's going to be an indirect mail. Okay. The indirect mail is going to be on this column over here. The direct mail, which means you have to touch it, you have to send it, will be on this one right here. These are the two most popular that you're going to hit on this area. This one here is to look up a specific agent. You want to look up a specific office. You want to check inventory. You want to look at public open houses. You're never going to use these. It's very rare that you're going to use these.
Yeah.
The only time you're really going to use this is when we go into a buyer's market. I found it pretty handy to use that when we had about 5 buyers and we wanted them to go to a couple open houses over the weekend. So we would use their criteria, search for open houses, and then send them out there if they wanted to go out. Your most common search over here is going to be your address search. This means that you're directly looking up a property address, whether it's on the market or not on the market. All right, let's jump in. Residential sale. All right, there's a lot of stuff on here. All right. There's multiple ways of searching for properties when it comes to this. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the first one, map search.
Okay.
Map search, you're going to use, but it's not going to be your most frequent. See how the map came up?
Yeah.
See where it jumped to address is. So let's say we have somebody that's looking in Oak Valley, right? Immediately I know the zip code, 08090. Put that in there. Hit enter. Oh, look at that. There's Oak Valley. All right. So my guy wants to be in Oak Valley, but he only wants a specific street or I'm sorry, a specific area. He wants to be on the same side as the school. He doesn't want to be on the other side of Ogden, and he doesn't want to be on the other side of Princeton. So with this map, we can go in, we can go out, whatever. So we go in, we find where his area is. All right. So he wants to be on this side of Ogden. He doesn't want to be over here. He wants to be on this side. And let's say, where's the school at? That's College Boulevard. Let's say he wants to be on College to Rutgers. And we'll mess around with it a little bit. You see these icons up here? Ooh, I
Yeah.
blew that up too much. Hang on 1 second. Screen's a little, there we go. So we got a couple icons up here. You can do a radius, which means is not, I don't know why they have a diamond up here, but usually that's a circle. You click that and click here and move your mouse out. So now I have a circle radius.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's say I don't want the circle radius. This is my eraser. You could do the same thing with a rectangle. You click, hold, do whatever you want. Cute, right?
Yeah.
Eraser out. This is the most common. This is the one we use a lot. This is a polygon. So the polygon lets us do whatever we want. All right, here's College. Let me scroll down a little bit here. All right, so here's College. Say I want to stay on College. I clicked it once, staying on College, click it again, go up and down universities, really specific on the streets that he wants. And he wants to be here. Now, you see how I went on the inside of the lines? By me going on the inside and not on 45, I don't get the traffic on 45. I won't get the commercial. I won't get the, like if somebody wants a high traffic street, you want to stay on the ones on the other side of the high traffic street. So this way you don't get their addresses.
Oh, okay.
So these are all the properties that popped up so far. These are green, active, and this one's off the market. All right. So that's one way of searching. You can use the map. So let's take that out. Let's go back to criteria. You can do a quarter mile radius, half mile radius, mile, 2 mile, whatever you want to do. So let's say he has to be in the Winona area. He can only be maybe 10, 15 minutes away or 20 minutes away.
Yeah.
So I want a half mile radius, but I want to take the address of say 319 Harvard. Now, as I'm typing this up, do you see what it's doing? Do you see what the screen's doing?
Yeah.
It's trying to guess my address that I'm putting in here. That's the address I want. Now you have to click this address for the computer to recognize it. Okay. So even though you may type in the full address, you still have to click this. By you clicking this, you're creating an algorithm.
Oh, okay.
So now that's in there. Okay. Some properties already popped up. I can also search by county. That means is that, let me see if they give me a list. Yeah, they do. All right. Yeah, that's a huge list. The most common counties that you're going to come across is Gloucester, Camden, Burlington. I guess that's it. Maybe Atlantic. But you're never going to search by county. With the technology and knowing Art, he's either going to be using the address search or a quick zip code.
Yeah.
MLS area is also going to be a popular one. MLS area is broken up into municipalities or townships. So if I'm looking in Deptford and I type in, see, it comes up, gives me my options, Deptford or West Deptford. So I can pick either one. All right.
Yeah.
I can also search by school district. Let's say Art has some clients that are really specific on what school districts. All you have to do is type in the name. I think Gateway's still one of them. And don't get confused too, because a couple gateways came up. You always want to look for the one that's in Jersey, closest to you.
Yeah.
And that's why they put that in there. All right. You can search by the address. We never use this. I always use up here.
Okay.
It's very rare you're going to use subdivision. The reason for this is because agents are lazy. Before, when we used to have our other MLS, before we got Bright, we had a company called Trend. We used to use the subdivisions all the time because agents used to put in a lot more information. Now they're reliant on auto population and stuff like that. So don't worry about subdivision. You can always zero in when it comes to this area over here. Legal subdivision, don't worry about it. Postal city, do not worry about it. Zip codes, that can be popular. So if he wants a zip code, all you got to do is put it in here. If it's a multiple zip code, you're going to put that zip code, comma, space, next zip code, blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
But most likely, this is going to be your most common lead source right here, how you're going to search for properties. All right. Now we have statuses. As you know, in the real estate business, we have off the market properties. We have on the market properties. We have coming soon. We have withdrawn. We have active. We have active under contract. Well, I'm going to explain each one of these to you. And if you want to write them down, if I'm talking too fast, let me know. Okay. The first one, coming soon. What do you think that means?
It's like, the house is getting ready to be placed on the market.
Right, exactly. So does that mean if a seller says, hey, Art, I need about 4 months. I want to get some painting done. I want to get this done. Do I put it on as coming soon?
I don't think. It's only a few days, I guess.
It's only so many days that you can use the coming soon. Like you can use it for, I think it's either 2 weeks or a month.
Yeah.
But I only use it for about 3 days. But yes, this is when you want to create urgency in that property. So I basically want to tell the world, hey, coming soon. This is coming soon. It's just like a movie. It's like they put all these trailers out there. They put all this advertising, but you can't get there. And then when you get there, what happens? You're in the back row. You got the bad popcorn. You're in the back row. You hear some talking kids behind you. But yeah, that's what the coming soon does. It creates urgency. So this way you have a lot of people going out when it becomes active.
Yeah.
These are active on the market properties. These are properties that you can schedule showings for, yada, yada, yada. Active under contract. What do you think that means?
That's when they already have an offer.
Right.
And
So there's
accepted, like.
Right. So there's two categories for having something under contract. Well, number one is, hey, I got an offer, but you know what? My guys aren't in love with it. They want an appraisal contingency. They want a home inspection contingency. They got to get the property under contract. So you know what? What we're going to do is we're going to honor your contract, but we're going to keep it on the market. We want to still do the showings. But Mike, you already have an offer. That's fine. I want backup offers. I'm going to let this person know when he goes through on Monday that, hey, we have an offer. We're happy with it, but we're not in love with it. So if you have a backup offer, send it over. And if we terminate this deal, you will be the first person that I contact before I put it back on the market. And that is what active under contract means.
Yeah.
The same thing. I'm going to jump over to this one real quick, pending, because I want to stay on the same subject.
Okay.
So let's say I have an offer. Oh, we love it. It's 10,000 over asking, or it's everything the seller wanted. They're happy. I don't want any more showings. So now I got to tell the world we're happy. We're good. So in case there's this website out there that's advertising this property, when they go through the MLS, they're going to see, nope, there's no showings. They're happy. They got the offer. This also lets appraisers know that these are pending sales. This is important for you because when you're trying to contest an appraisal, you can use this as a comparable if it settles before your property settles. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right. Temporary off the market. That means a client that listed with Art calls them up. Dude, my hot water heater broke. I'm flooded. I need it off the market for a couple of days. I got to get this situated. No problem. You're going to go in here temporarily off the market. You're going to click it. And it's going to say, hey, when do you want to go back on? You could say 3 days, 5 days, or you could just leave it on, temporary off the market. This does not affect the listing contract at all.
Okay.
This guy here does. So let's say that same seller, he's pissed off or the wife is pissed off and she wants to take the house off the market.
Mm-hmm.
But they're unsure if they want to fire Art or keep him on there. He's like, you know what, Art, take it off for a month. I don't want any showings. I don't want any calls. I don't want anything. Okay, great. You're withdrawn. By doing it as withdrawn, the days on market, it's like a stopwatch. It stops. It puts it on hold. Okay. Closed. I don't know why they use closed. It was always settlement, but that is the day you close your deal. That is the day you went to settlement.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mm-hmm. These are properties that are important to Art and the appraiser because this one gives finite value. It basically says for a fact, this is what we sold for. Okay. Expired means if Art has a listing contract for 60 days to sell a house on 123 Main Street, but after that 60 days and it goes expired, all the agents in the area now have free right to go after that client to relist that property.
Okay.
They are no longer with Art or the company. Canceled. So this is withdrawn, but officially you're done. This is when the clients either let Art go or Art lets the clients go. This is the next step after withdrawn.
Oh, okay. Okay.
You are not going to have permission to use cancel. Usually your MCA or your front desk person can do it. You can do withdrawn, but to finally cancel it, you have to call the MCA or call the front desk to ask them to remove the property.
Okay.
Now, sometimes they might want email or something in writing that the client wants out.
Mm-hmm.
Just make sure you have that in case they ask.
Yeah.
All right. Listing term, agreement of sale date. You really don't use this. Mm-hmm. This one you do, though. This is a price range. Okay. So if I'm searching for houses that are, my guy's pre-approved, but he's searching for houses up to $400,000. Well, if he's looking for $400,000, I can tell you right now, he's not going to look at $150,000 houses. So we're going to do 150 to 400,000. Now, depending on what your screen says on Art's screen, if this is checked or not. You want this box checked because it's in reference to thousands. So that 400 actually represents 400,000. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Next category. If I have a 3-bedroom home or my client's looking for a 3-bedroom home, what am I putting in there?
3 to 9.
3 to 9, just like the screen says.
Yeah.
All right. What's the difference between total bathrooms, full bathrooms, and half bathrooms?
Full bathrooms is the one that has the shower in and everything, and half is the one only with the toilet.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So if I'm looking for at least a 2.5 bathroom, at least a 2.5, how am I filling this out?
2 at the full bathrooms and 1 at the half.
So I'm doing this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Actually, no.
No.
So if I at least want 2.5, that means I want 3 total bathrooms. I'm adamant. I need at least 2.5 bathrooms. So that's telling me I need 3 bathrooms. So right here, I'm going 3 to 9. That's
Oh,
full bathrooms.
okay. Yeah.
I was really specific. I needed 2 full bathrooms. So if I want 2, well, what happens if this house has 3 full bathrooms? It's not going to be shown. So that's why I do 2 plus 9.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the trick. I said I needed a minimum of 2.5. If it has 3, but no powder room, I'm still good with that. So I need to change this to 0 to 9. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because in any scenario, 2.5, I'll fit that in here. So 2.5, that gives me 3 bathrooms, 3 to 9. I'm good to go. I need at least 2 full. There's my 2 full, and I can go higher than that.
Yeah.
Not mandatory that I have a half bathroom. The only thing that's mandatory is that I have 3 bathrooms, and 2 of them have to be full. So that fits that right there.
Yeah.
These are other rooms. This again was popular when we had another MLS. But if you have somebody that is specific, that's looking in the 400 plus range, they might be specific that I need something. Okay. Don't fall for the basement here because there's a separate category for that. But let's say they needed an in-law suite. This would be a perfect spot. I have to have an in-law suite. But this can also hurt you too, because a lot of these agents will not put this information in. So as a quick reference, it's okay to use that. But let's say I wanted multiple categories. Now, all I had to do is click that. But what happens if I want the in-law suite, the hobby, and the great room? Well, of course, I can just drag my cursor down. But let's say I didn't need the in-law suite. I need a great room, a hobby room, and a kitchen. I click the kitchen. I push down on the control button. And then I hit hobby. And then I hit great room.
Oh, okay.
Now, let's say I accidentally hit laundry. I hit the control button and take it out.
Yeah.
Because if I don't hit the control button, that's what happens.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. This is common, and you're going to be seeing this with when generations get older. A lot of people are going to want main level bedrooms and main level full bathrooms. You're going to put how many you want on here. All right.
Okay.
And it's tricky too, because if I just say, if Art comes to you and says, hey, he's looking for a full bedroom house, but one of the bedrooms has to be on the main floor and one of the bathrooms have to be on the main floor, what do you think you're putting in both of those categories?
I don't know.
Would I put this or would I put this?
I think this one.
This one, because what happens if they're just so there's two bedrooms on the main floor, or there could be two full bathrooms on the main floor. By you just putting one in there, you could be eliminating that search. So even though we're not going to find 9 bathrooms on one floor, I just put the numbers in there. Just as long as it's more than one, if I need it.
Yes, yes.
All right. Now we start to get a little bit more complicated. All right, first let me take this out. All right. Condominiums. When somebody says condominiums, they think of unit flats. Condominium can actually be a townhouse. It can be a unit flat. Do you know what do you know what a condominium is?
I have an idea.
Usually your condos, they cover anywhere from 80 to 95% of the exterior of the house. Like they'll cover the roof. They have an association. Ooh, I lost you. Let's see. They're late. Come on, where you at? Let's go.
Did you take the book, the transaction book,
It's right here.
or not the transaction, marketing one?
Here. You could use it. I just moved it out of the way. There you are.
My
Oh,
battery.
hear that one. All right. So condominium. It covers everything on the exterior. It covers anything from snow removal, trash removal, lawn, vinyl, the siding, the roof, blah, 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Give me 1 second here. All right. You can still see me, right?
Yes,
Okay, perfect. Can you still see the screen?
yes.
All right, good. All right, so let me get out of this. So condominiums also have fees. They're pretty high compared to a homeowners association. So a condo, it's paid monthly, and sometimes they have what's called a capitalization fee. This is a one-time buy-in fee where they create the rules and manual for you. They put your name into the system and they get you a mailbox key, blah, blah, blah. A cooperative is different in a condominium. A condominium is something that you own. A cooperative is where there's a bunch of people that own that building or have an entitlement into that building, but they don't physically own it. So a perfect example is if you're ever down the shore, those condotels, they're more or less a cooperative because you really don't own it. You get basically a car title. A timeshare is a better example of one.
Mm-hmm.
You have your 4 weeks. You can use it whenever you want, as long as it's not booked up, but you don't own it. You can't sell it. You can't sell any part of that building.
Okay.
Fee simple is any house that you live in that does not have a homeowners association or a condo association. So fee simple is like your regular single family house, twin, row home, stuff like that. Fractional, ground rent, you're never going to see. Timeshare, I mean, unless he starts selling in Atlantic City, but I think you need Atlantic County MLS.
Mm.
They're the only ones.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. The fee simple also includes homeowners associations.
Okay.
All right. Any questions on this?
No.
So if you have a client that is strictly looking for a house with that's not a condo, which one are you picking?
Pretty simple.
Be simple, right? Let's say I'm open to anything, but I don't want any condominiums. What am I clicking?
On free simple.
But I can also, I'm okay with a cooperative. I'm okay with everything else, but I just don't want a condominium. You have these two buttons over here. One's or and one's not. It's always going to be set to or. If I want to eliminate something, all I have to do is click that and hit not.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And you can do this for zip codes. So let's just say I type in, I want to look at the zip code of 08080, but I don't want Washington Township. Then I can go over here, type in Washington Township and hit not. Okay.
Yeah.
You're not going to learn this all in one day. You are going to trip. You are going to be calling me. You're probably going to be reaching out to me or Susie with a question. Just feel free, reach out to us.
Yes.
These are, like I said, I'm not expecting you to learn everything. And you're also going to have this video to go back to. Okay, so these are the most common types of structural types for the exterior of the house. You have your single detached, which means it's a house that has nothing attached to it.
Yeah.
The second one is a twin. That means there's a house, but there's a house attached to it.
Yeah.
And you don't have anything on the other end. Now, this is where also people get confused. We have what's called N-row townhouses and also row home or interior row. Before this was put up, there was an argument that if I had a row of homes, they're called row homes.
Yeah.
But they were saying that the houses on the end should be considered twins. No. It's still a part of a row home, but you just happen to have the end. So we actually had to create this for the dumb people out there that if you're in a row of cluster of homes, you have an end row unit or you have the interior row. An interior row means you have the house and then you have a house on one side and a house on the other side.
Yeah.
So you better hope that nobody's a bass player or a drummer or someone who likes to party at night. All right. The next one is, again, your unit flat. Well, if I have condominium over here, why would I want a unit? Why would I need to pick a unit flat? Because condos can also be 2 stories as well. All right. And penthouse. Yeah, no. All right. I would also stay away from this one over here. Again, agents don't input information, but let's say let's say you have a client that is only looking for 1-story homes. Like you might find a 1-story rancher, but your most common ones are your single family 1-story rancher. You can click the 1.
Okay.
When you start doing the 1.5, you don't know if you're looking for Cape Cods or you're searching for split levels. And then is a split level 1.5 levels or is it 2 levels or is it 2.5 levels? So what I would suggest is not to use this at all unless you have a handicapped couple that is strictly looking for a 1 level or somebody who is tired of going up steps and they only want 1 levels. If you have a basement, it will not consider that as a level. So you're okay with that. So if it's a 1-floor rancher and it has a basement, if you click 1 floor, that basement will still come up. It'll still come up.
Okay.
These are the styles of the home. You do not have to worry about this unless they are specific.
Yeah.
A-frame means it's a single family property that has a shingle roof. So A-frame, just like this, means it has a shingles on it. Airlight is a style of a home on the inside of usually an interior or end unit row home. Airlight represents if I walk into the property and if I go straight ahead to the back of the property, I'm going to walk through the living room and the dining room. Once I get to the dining room, the kitchen is either off to my left or off to my right. Art Deco, back to back. These are all things people in some way made up, but it became popular. A bungalow is a rancher with maybe a loft up on the upside. Log cabin. I mean, there are houses out there that are built out of logs. Cape Cod is when you have when you have a bedroom and a bath on one floor, and then upstairs there's two bedrooms, or there's two bedrooms and a bath. And like I said, it's important, but it's not important. This is only when people are looking for specific things. I'm trying to think on here. Somebody. Yeah, you're just going to have to go through here. Like I said, we usually don't use these unless it's a specific client. But if you have that specific client, you're just going to reach out to me.
Yeah.
Because until you go through all these and actually look them up to find out what they actually mean. But like I said, these agents are not going to use this. You're going to need this when you put in the listing. So the first cheat sheet you want to use is that if a property has been on the market before. So if Art is listing a property and it's been on the market after 1999, chances are it's going to have an old MLS number, and you're going to put that information in. You'll see it on that sheet.
Okay.
Type of parking. I wouldn't be too concerned with this over here. What I would be concerned with is either total parking spaces, but that is total parking, not garage. This is the garage area. So if they're looking for, hey, Mike, I have two cars. I have a 1950 Chevy and I also have a Corvette. I need a 2-car garage. So what do you think I'm putting here?
2 to 9.
2 to 9, correct. Does it matter if the garage is detached or attached to the house?
If the client didn't say anything.
If the client didn't say anything, you're going to keep it here, correct.
No.
But if they wanted a garage that has to be attached to the house, I don't want something separate, then you're going to go over to the attached section. But
Yeah.
you're correct. You want to focus. This is your primary box right here when it comes to garages. Okay. Now, let's say, hey, Mike, you know what? I don't need a garage, but I need at least 5 parking spots. I'm like, why do you need 5 parking spots? Well, I have an RV and I have 2 kids. Oh, okay. Your parking spaces are going to be right here.
Yeah.
Now, but this is going to be tricky because if you start putting it here, it might not include street parking. Okay. This is strictly going to be for driveway parking only. Basement. Yes, no, I don't care.
Yeah.
If it's blank, they don't care. If they want a basement, that's fine. Put it on there. Fireplaces. Yeah, I want a fireplace. No, I don't want one. I don't want to have to deal with a chimney, cleaning anything, blah, blah, blah. You want central air? Of course I want central air. I grew up on it. No, I don't want central air. I want to sweat during the summer when it's 100 degrees out. Heating. I don't know why they put this in here. Of course, all houses have to come with heat. So I think when they originally created this, you had the right to go in there to say if I want oil, gas, or whatever, but all homes have heating. I mean, unless you go into, I guess, like a cabin out in the Poconos, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah.
All right. These two are tricky. Over here. Do you know what square footage is?
Not really. I mean,
Okay.
I know what it is, but I don't know what that means exactly.
Right. So interior square footage is your house right there. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have a basement in your house? Yes.
In my house, no.
Yes.
No basement.
No basement. Okay. So then your square footage is from the ground level up, but it has to be living. It has to be interior living space. So what that means is when an appraiser goes in there, he's going to check the living room, the dining room, the kitchen, if there's any family rooms, great rooms, and all that. And then he's going to go upstairs. He's going to check the bedrooms and the bathrooms. And then he's going to calculate and he's going to let you know how many interior square feet that you have.
Yeah.
So let's just say someone's moving out of the Oak Valley area and they want to go into the West Defford area. It's like, look, I have a 1,200 square feet right now, but I need something over 1,500. What are you putting and where are you putting it?
I will put it above.
Above grade?
Yes.
And what are you putting in there?
1,500.
1,500 hyphen 9999.
Yeah.
So the reason for this is because if I just put 1,500 in, it's only going to give me houses that have 1,500 square feet. But if I put a hyphen, I put all nines, anything greater than 1,500 will come up. Okay. This is very rare. You might do this when you're looking for comparables. Below grade means, let's say in your house, you don't have a basement, but let's say you did. If your basement is more than 60% underground, it is not considered livable interior square footage. So let's say you and your neighbor, you both have basements. His is unfinished. He's got a concrete slab. He's got concrete walls. He's got the rafters. But you have plush carpet, nice padding. You even got heating down there from the central air ducts. You got heating and cooling down there. The only thing you really don't have is the window. You have one of those small jalousie windows, but everything else is done. It's painted. You got a TV down there. You got a bar down there, and you got a couch down there. Not to give you any ideas, but I'm just
Yeah.
So if he's selling his house for 120,000, do you think your house is worth 120 or is it worth more?
Oh, of course it's worth more.
But you guys got the same interior square footage.
Yeah, but my basement is done.
Right. Your basement's done. And when you put below grade finished square footage, you can actually put in how much you have down there. Because in a correct world, Art is going to list that unfinished basement for 120 at square footage of whatever it is, 1,400. But he's also going to list yours somewhere probably 125 or 130 with the same square footage. But when somebody sees those pictures and somebody sees that you got extra square footage down there, okay, we're good. I'm okay with that. I'm okay paying the extra. Because in this way, it prevents me from doing that work. All right, so let's take that out. All right. All righty. Condo association, homeowners association. You can hit and, you can hit or you can hit not. Okay. It's very rare that you're going to come down here. It's very rare someone says, hey, Mike, I want nothing but a condo, or I want nothing but a homeowners association. Unless you have someone that specifically wants a condo or a homeowners association, then you're going to come down to that. But usually it varies. Mike, I'll take a single family or a homeowners association or a condo, as long as it's 2 stories. You really don't need that then. But if they come to you and say, I absolutely don't want that, well, then you're going to click it and you're going to hit not.
Okay.
Or you're going to go back up to here and click it and do not. All right. Senior community. This is popular. Okay. Now, let's say you got someone who's looking for a 55 and older. You're going to put in there. Yes. They also ask you for the age requirement. Some places are 55 and older. Some places are 65 and older. But here's the deal from me to you. A bill was passed. There was a lawsuit. There was actually a couple lawsuits. These 55 and older communities, unless it's listed, there's a stipulation. I can't think of what it is. Unless they're listed a certain way, you have to open it up to the public. So 13 or 12% of that can be sold to young people, like 25, 26, blah, blah, blah. But they also have to adhere to the homeowner or the condo association based on that. So what that means is if there's a restrictions on pets, they still have to honor it. If there's a restriction on how early you can start work or how late you can do work up until outside, they have to honor that. But what they don't have to honor it is if there's 65-year-old gentlemen at the pool and the 27-year-old with the bikini comes, there's no clothing requirement or anything like that. So you will see that. All right. The next is sales type. In this market, you're really not going to see this, but when this market changes, you're going to start using this. All right. Sale type for us, for the normal, is always standard. You don't have to click standard though. You don't have to do that unless you're getting a lot of foreclosures.
Okay.
I'm going to go over these, but I'm not going to harp on them because it doesn't pertain to our market. An auction is, it could be a foreclosure. It could be an estate. It could be the city. This is where that distressed property is being handed to a third-party company, the auctioneer, and he's auctioning the property. Usually they have a public sale notice, and they invite people out, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Bankruptcy means is that it is not in foreclosure, but it could be in foreclosure, but an attorney is handling the bankruptcy, and the bankruptcy is subject to the property selling.
Okay.
HUD owned. This means that the property has already been foreclosed on. The bank has filed for the PMI insurance or the mortgage insurance. And now the bank, the institution that its primary job is to lend money, is now in the real estate business because now they own real estate. They actually took the property, they removed the name, and now the title is reading Bank of America. In foreclosure. So I love these people when they make up their own terminology. It's also the same thing as short sale. It could be. So in foreclosure is when the mortgage company has had enough of this client, or there's a break in the communication and they actually filed papers. They actually filed papers with the court. Now they didn't have their court hearing yet, because the foreclosure didn't happen, but it's in the process of it. All right. So that's foreclosure. This one. Okay. Notice of default. This is when somebody misses a mortgage payment or two, and the mortgage company is making it very clear that if you're not caught up in the next 30 or 60 days, we're putting this on the market, we're advertising this. Banks usually don't do this because they want to keep the communication lines open, but you will see this with third party, or you're going to see this with hard money lenders or seller financing. So anybody that has an interest, a third party, bless you, other than the seller who's living there, you might see it with that. Probate. It's very rare. If you get any probate, it's going to be under the auctions. Real estate owned property. This goes back to the HUD. So HUD, let me rephrase HUD. HUD is government owned properties. This is like your FHA. This is your VA, your government insured loans, blah, blah, blah. This is owned by, the properties are owned by HUD. So it's not owned by the mortgage companies. Usually HUD homes, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, they'll buy the properties back. They're the largest lenders out there. That so this way other banks can start lending properties out. REO is real estate owned. This is when the Bank of America is foreclosing on somebody and they take the property back in their name. So what happens is when they go into foreclosure, they create a sheriff's sale or an auction. It's whatever is cheaper for them. So when they send a representative from the mortgage company out there, they already know how much money they owe. So let's say that client owes like $156,000. Well, when that auctioneer starts at $10 and everybody's bidding, hoping they'll get it for $20, no, that guy from the bank is like, nope, raise, nope, raise. But once it hits that 150 mark, he's not going to raise his hand anymore. He's like, okay, we're good. Let's see what happens. And then they walk away and they get their money back. But let's say nobody raises their hand and it's at 140, but the bank raises their hand last. That's when they officially buy the property back. So now they can take the seller's name off the title. They put Bank of America on there and they sell it as a real estate owned property. This is where the insurance comes in. And then they get reimbursed from Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac or the insurance companies. So they will recoup most of their loss. I think it's 80% or 70% of the actual loan that they'll recoup. I'll put this property back on the market like for $90,000 and just dump it. A short sale. This is where Art gets in before this all even happens. So let's say your neighbor, Mary, she's in financial difficulty. She's 2 to 3 months behind on the mortgage and the mortgage company's getting loud with them. It's like, all right, you got to pay up or, we want you out. So her and Art talk and Art's like, well, wait a minute. I can do what's called a short sale. He's like, well, what's a short sale? He's like, well, Mary, how much do you owe? I owe 200,000. So Art gets on the computer and sees that the values are only at 175. I'm like, well, wait a minute, Mary, you have 25,000. You can come to the table. Oh, of course not. I would make my mortgage payments. Okay. So then what he has to do, he has to get a acceptable offer. So let's say he gets an offer for 160. He takes that 160 and gives it to the mortgage company. But first he sends his listing contract over to the mortgage company to say, hey, look, we're doing a short sale. I'm going to get you an offer, but you need to back off from the client. If you need to talk to them, you can talk to them, but let's keep the conversation friendly. So believe it or not, the banks will let you live in the property as long as you maintain the property. You don't have to make the mortgage payment, but pay the utilities, pay the water, pay the electric, keep everything going. So you can live there scot-free. Now your credit's going to get dinged. Don't get me wrong. It's going to get dinged.
Okay.
So, but when this offer comes in for 160, Art takes the offer, gives it to Bank of America. Oh, cool. We got an offer for 160. Great. Let me look at it. I'm getting ready to sign it, but let me see here. Let me give this to my underwriter and have him check. Here, we got this offer for 160. And he's looking at his sheet. He's like, wait a minute. There's 200,000 owed on this. We need an appraisal. So he has to validate what Art is validating, that the area is only going for 175. So even though they owe 200, they might accept that 160 or 170. So that's a difference of $30,000. They're going to go to the seller and say, we're going to let you go. You don't owe us the 30,000. But if you ever hit the lottery or you come back into this, come into some money, we want it back. We want to be reimbursed.
And for how long they can stay in the house?
They can stay in the house up until settlement. Then they have to leave. Then they have to go find something. Now, short sales are not immediate. They take anywhere from 8 months to 2 years. It takes a while. So it's not like they have to rush and get out. They can stay in the property. I'm not going to get too much into this, but you want people to do short sales instead of going to foreclosure, because once a foreclosure or a bankruptcy hits your credit, that's 7 years after the property has been sold. A short sale only stays on your credit for 2.5 years to 3 years. If you maintain good credit, you can buy a house after 3 years.
Okay.
All right. Enough of that. Standard sale. Any search you do on here is a standard sale. But the only time you're going to click this is when you don't want any of this. Okay. So if you leave this blank, you're going to get everything.
Yeah.
Third-party approval is also a short sale. So if you are looking for short sales, do I need to do this? You can, or you can play with it. As right here, I have 0. Let's just do short sales. Still 0. But if you have that lazy agent and they don't click both, and that's why sometimes you got to play with it a little bit. Undisclosed, we don't do. All right. Any questions on that?
No.
Good. Perfect. Don't worry about the waterfront or the city limits. Again, it's common sense. Hey, I want something on the water. You can do that, but don't leave it as part of your permanent search, because these agents will not put it in there.
Yeah.
This is another thing I don't use because agents won't fill this out. And they also have different meanings of what excellent, very good, and average and below average mean.
Yeah.
The only time I use this is if this number here, the matches, come out to 56. Then I might hit this, and then that'll drop to like 20 or 14. And this is what Art might want. So
Yeah.
let me take those out. All right. Let's say Art wants something, or his client wants something that's on 1+ acres or 1 to 10 acres. What am I putting here?
What are you going to put there? 1 to 999. 1 to.
I said 1 to 10.
Ah.
I don't want anything over 10 acres. But yeah, you can do that. If I want anything over 1, I'm going to do 1-9999. Or if I want one, I don't want anything more than 10 acres. I don't think I've ever heard someone say that before, but yeah, you could do 1 to 10.
Yeah.
Year built. You might get this a lot in Mullica Hill. So Mullica Hill and Swedesboro, they have like historic areas. So you might have that person that's looking for like a 1910 Victorian. Okay. It's very rare. New construction is popular though. If you have someone that's looking for new construction, just make sure you hit yes. Pools. These are tricky. What do you think the difference between personal and community is?
Personal is when you have it in your backyard, and community is when it's an association.
Yep. Association, homeowners, whatever. Yep. You got it. Perfect.
Yeah.
All righty. Let's say we get our searches now. All right. Let me see here. Let's see what we got. Let's take this out. Let's take this out. This out. Are we under any time restrictions? I want to go to about 11 o'clock since we have off tomorrow. Is that okay?
Yeah, it's okay.
All right, great. All right. So down here, we have 6 matches. Now, a lot of people will click this. It just adds an extra step. What I would suggest is just clicking the results.
Okay.
And it does nothing. There we go. All right. These are the results of the property. Okay.
Okay.
But let's say I'm going to go back. I'm going to hit criteria. But before I hit results, I want to see where they're at. I can hit the map button. Now, remember that circle that came up?
Yeah.
You know what? There's 3 properties here. There's 3 properties here. I want a little bit more. I think I could stretch it and still be in Oak Valley. And see if another property had popped up or not. All right. So you can actually make it smaller. You can make it bigger, whatever you want.
Yeah.
All right. So go to the top of the screen, hit results. Now, these are our results. Until we click a box here, our secret tabs won't open up because you need to identify a property that you were looking for. Okay.
Okay.
With this board, you have full control over. Okay. So let's say I don't need the city. I don't care. You left hand click it, you regular click it, and I can either say I want this column removed.
Oh, okay.
I want to remove it. Now it goes bye-bye. But let's say I want to click this. I want to add one. One of the popular columns to add is your above grade square foot. Apply. So if I'm talking to my client or you're talking to Art's client and he's like, look, I like my criteria, but there's a couple of properties that were pretty small. I want to keep it 1,200 or more. So then you could see which ones you need to eliminate, or you go back in the criteria and that you go down to the interior square foot and you can put in 1,200 or more.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you have full control over these columns. Okay. Does this mean if I change anything in this column, you're going to change it all? No, unless you go into the preferences and make it your preference, the next search you do will not have this. Okay.
Okay.
Now, again, from this screen, now you see all those tabs that just opened up?
Yeah.
Yeah. You still have these tabs here. I can go back to criteria or I can look at the map. Now, there's different ways I can view these properties. If you look at this tab right here, it says agent one-liners. When you email these properties to clients, they're not going to see what you're seeing. Okay. They're going to see the client full or whatever. And we're going to go through these.
Okay.
This is a quick version. This is the most common for you. But the next one down is the agent thumbnail. The agent thumbnail gives you a little bit more information. Tells you what city it's in, tells you what school district, tells you how many bedrooms, gives you some pictures there, price range. It gives you the cliff notes of the property. But you know what? I want a couple more properties or a couple more info. I want to see. I want to be able to see the pictures and not, So it gives you a little bit more on the remarks that makes the pictures a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
The next one, agent full. So this one here you're going to use, and also this one here you're going to use. So when you click on the properties, even as a default, you're going to get the agent full. It's just the way the computer is. This is the agent full. You're going to get the pictures of the property. You can make them bigger. Go through. There's also a slideshow that you can do. You can look on the map to make sure where this property is at. Oh, it's not that far away. This is important here too. So when Art's trying to set up a property and all of a sudden you see that there's an open house there, you can let him know that there's going to be an open house. Or let's say it's coming soon. He may ask you, when's it coming soon? When's it going to be active? Usually those notes will be right here. It'll be in green. The specifics about the property, what we went over on the other page, are going to be in here.
Yeah.
This is your MLS number. There's two ways of looking up properties. One by the address and number two by the ID number. We never use the ID number today. Back before when the IDs numbers were only like 7 digits, we used to use them. Now it's huge. We don't use it.
Yeah.
Tax ID number. There's two ways of getting the public records. One, you click on the tax ID number. It'll take you to public records. Okay. I'm not going to go over public records today. We're going to go over that another day, but I want to show you how to get there.
Yeah.
So if I go back to that page, is there another way that I can get the public records? Yes. You go to the top of the icons and you look for the building and it'll say public records.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Okay. Fee simple. This is what type of house it is. It's a detached. It's a single house, which we can also see in the picture. How many levels does it have? And then when somebody sees how many levels, they immediately go over here to see what type of house it is. Is it on the waterfront? Does it have a garage? No, no, no. Okay, perfect. How many bedrooms? How many baths? So here's a question for you. If I had a 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath, or 3-bedroom, 2 full bath, what's that going to say?
Three bedroom and 1.5 bath.
Right. So this would always be 3.
Yeah.
This could either, if it's a 1.5, it's actually going to say 1.5.
Yeah.
And if it's 2 full bathrooms, it's just going to say 2. Okay.
Okay.
There's your interior square feet right here. You don't have to worry about price per square feet. That is strictly for the appraiser. When the house was built, what type of house? Is it a colonial? Is it a split level? Is it a rancher? Is it a traditional? Does the home have central air? And is there a basement?
Okay.
Any questions on this?
No.
All right, perfect. What county it's in? What township? What subdivision? What school system? Sometimes the agents do their job. This one did. They put the high school in here. They put the middle school and they put the elementary school. This is a good agent. Who is this agent? Roy McCormick. He probably owes me money, but he's a good agent. This is all your tax information here. what taxes that they paid, and you have to be careful the year, because if you tell them, oh, the taxes are 1584, no, that was for 2020. Now you got to remember, it gets tricky when you do different townships because the tax bill is not from January to the end of the year. Some of them are, but most of the tax bills are from the middle of the year to the other middle of the year.
Oh, okay.
Yep. All the taxes are done annually. Green assessments. This means is if they had any solar panels or anything like that.
Mhm.
They have municipal. They don't have a private trash service. It's always zoned residential. Do not worry about this either. Just because the tax assessed value is at 172 does not mean that they're overpriced. This is strictly for the tax office. This is how they calculate the whole neighborhood's taxes.
Okay.
Blah, blah, blah. And you don't have to worry about, oh, the lot in the block. Remember on the contracts, I was telling you that you have to put the lot in the block number.
Yeah.
This is where you're going to find it.
Okay.
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 All right. Again, even though you have 3 bedrooms and a bath, it's got to let you know again, you have 3 bedrooms and a bath. Oh, it's on the main, they tell you where the bedrooms are.
Okay.
Same thing over here. Square footage. It's letting you know your square footage is over here.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anything else that's important? All right. I'm not going to get into these too much, only because I think you're going to learn it better when we put information in on a listing. So, but this breaking it down is interior features. There's no fireplace. Why would you put that there? All right. There's lower floor laundry. I wouldn't even have put anything in here, but anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Exterior features, sidewalks, street lights, patios, pools. Yes, it's a personal pool. It has a pool. Utilities, this is helpful. The most common ones is like the natural gas versus the oil. If you have public water, public sewer compared to well and septic and stuff like that.
Okay.
But don't worry about writing the categories down, because Bright will tell you what needs to be filled out and what is optional.
Okay.
And then you're going to put your little bio on here about the property. Matter of fact, this is really not a good agent. Pool wasn't open this year, but the picture of the photos was taken 2009. I mean, I probably would have started off with, it's, oh, that's agent remarks. I take that back. All right. So then you have the bio to the public, and then this is the heads up to the agents.
Oh.
Down here, it's all nice and, hey, welcome home. This beautiful 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath split level located in desirable Oak Valley. And then behind the scenes, when you, the agent, are looking at this, you're seeing that the pool wasn't open, but they're showing a picture of 2019 when it was open. Now, when you're looking at this form, you get to see who the listing agent is. You got their email address. If you click on their name, you get to see all their information. You get to see their phone numbers, their mobile. You get to see the license number. You're going to need to know where to find that when you write contracts. So when you're writing contracts, that's how you find the license number.
Okay.
Okay. It's weird. I can't get out of it because there we go. Down here is your showing information, but I'm going to show you a faster way to look up showings and set up showings. If you run into the issue with showing time, you want to come back to this screen. Maybe there is some showing instructions that you have to call the agent, not use the service.
Okay.
When you're typing up the contract, you can see how much needs to go in the compensation area. And this information you don't really need to know about, except for the days on market, how long it's been on the market. Now that is the agent full version. Are there other versions? Sure there are. I'm not going to get into these, but let's get into the client one. This is what the client full looks like. So when you email these properties to them, this is what they're going to see. So they basically almost see the same thing, but they don't have the icons up here.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't have any of the agent's information.
Okay.
None of it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to stop here. Let me just double check something real quick. I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. No, we're not going to stop here. I want to go over a couple more things. All right. So criteria, you have 4 categories up here. You have actions, you have refine, you have save, and you have carts.
Yeah.
Action is going to be your most popular. If you need to go back to the criteria, that's fine. Let's say, no, I like all these properties. I'm going to email them to the client.
Okay.
When you save somebody under the public prospect account, it's automatically going to come up. And then you're going to type in Keller Williams and then whatever message you want and then hit send.
Okay.
You can print them. I recommend if you print them, use not agent full because you'll waste a lot of paper. Use agent 1 page.
Okay.
It keeps everything on 1 page. It keeps the important information there.
Mm-hmm.
All right. CMA, let Art do this because he's going to instruct you on how to look up properties. The most of the day, that is the way you're supposed to. But sometimes these auto-generated techno, they think they know better than you, and they probably do. But I like hands-on. So there is a button to do your own CMA. And the CMAs are kind of cool. There's an app on here that I can show you later on. There's a link that it actually looks like you're looking at an appraisal. Directions to the property. You really don't need this. Art has a GPS. He knows where he's going. Stats, don't worry about it. Export, don't worry about it. This is the most important one right here. Showing time. Let's say Art, he wants to set up all these properties. You're going to click that button. Now, this is the cool thing. We're going to set this up. We're going to hit add to showing cart. If it's one property, a one property button would come up. It would be over here. But because it's because it's 2 or more properties, you're going to hit the showing cart. You're going to create a new cart. You can put the buyer's name in there or hit next. Now, it's going to ask you are you going to show the properties today, tomorrow, whenever? Oh, you know what? I'm going to set them up for Saturday. These are weekend showings. Set them up for Saturday. And then the buyer's name is Carl. And we're going to put him in. So all these properties now are put in here. I'm like, all right, cool. I love technology. It's going to set this up for me. Now, I said, computers are fallible. Why the hell am I going to drive here, go here, go here, go here, go here, go here? Right. So sometimes computers can be batshit crazy sometimes. So, but let's say you know for a fact that Art's coming out from this way and the client wants to see this property on Amherst first. So all I have to do is go to Amherst, click on the address, still hold the click and drag it all the way up top. You see how I did that?
Yeah.
All right. So now I have one here. Well,
Okay.
I see the best route for Art is to go this way and hit this one. So let's make number 3, the second showing. So we go to 3, we go to Lehigh, click it, hold it, drag it up there. 1, 2, 3. And then you're coming down over here. And I'm going to make this the 4th property. So I go to the 5th property, make it number 4. And then I'm going to make 6 number 5.
Okay.
You see how I did that? Now
Yeah.
it's all in order. Okay,
Yeah.
great. So now Art's not going to kill me. So because these properties are grouped together and the distance is not that far away, it'll tell you how much distance and an estimated time between each property. You see that? So with this property, I might set this up for 12 o'clock and all I need is a half hour and I'm going to hit save. Now this property, it's not that far away. I could still do 12 to 12:30. So I'll put 12 to 12:30 in and put that in. Now, when I get to the next property, it's probably not going to be 12:30. It's probably going to be closer to 1. So I might want to do this from 1 to 1:30.
Okay.
So you get it now, right?
Yeah.
All right. So then you're going to do the same things for here. But let's say these properties were miles apart from each other. well, I'm not going to make these two at 12 o'clock. I'll probably make this one from 12 to 12:30 and this one 12:30 to 1:30, depending on how far they are. All right.
Okay.
There's these little notes over here. Go and show. It's going to be an immediate confirmation. They're going to give you a lockbox confirmation. It's going to turn green. But these ones that say appointment required, they have to contact the owner. This service, showing time, has to contact the owner and get permission to show this property during that time. And then they'll get back to you once they get confirmation.
Okay.
And that's it. Once you get the confirmation, the only thing you need to do is send Art the confirmation, but most likely, because it's his system, he's going to get notified on his email, on his phone. All right, so I'm going to exit out of this. All right. Okay. We still got a couple more minutes. Refine. Let's say they want the properties that are the smallest ones out. Okay. I'm going to unclick this. I'm going to click you. I'm going to click you.
Mm-hmm.
Discard. This is the only time you're going to be in Refine. I want to take them out.
Okay.
Oh, now I got 4 properties. So now I can go back in the showing time and set these up.
Okay.
Save. This is where you save, you create a new prospect account. We're going to do this another day. I don't want to give you too much.
Mm-hmm.
I'm writing that down, prospect account. And then auto emails, that's going to be over here, but I'll show you that another day. All right. You have a lot of information. I want you to mess with this today and tomorrow. Tweak around with it. Okay. Do some searches, get familiar with it, because I'm going to teach you on Wednesday or Tuesday night, depending on what you're available. I'm going to teach you how to do a prospect account. But you're going to have a lot of homework too. I'm going to send you over a proposal to purchase. Like, I want you to do an offer.
Okay.
I also want you to do not only the proposal to purchase, but I want you to type up the contracts too, and what forms you want to use for your buyer to write an offer. And then after that, I'm going to give you the list for a listing that you're going to listing package that you're going to send out to Art's clients. But like I said, we're going to go over all this on Wednesday. If you have some time on Tuesday after you're done, feel free, let me know. Oh, you know what? No, I got an appointment after 6 o'clock. No, so we're going to be no good for Tuesday night. All right. Any questions?
No question now.
All right. Perfect. I'll talk to you later.
Yeah.
All right. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
All right. So when you do